Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. Before I get into this video, I am going to say that I do not condone any bullying or harassment of any type. That is not cute. That is not nice. All right. Let's proceed. You all remember that I brought videos about two British guys that went on tour in United States and in Atlanta, Georgia, right? And said some certain things in front of and they denigrated black women and couldn't even defend black women while that was going on. So they actually issued an apology that they are sorry, but that apology, you will say it and see if that is sincere and all that. While the apology was going on, he made mention that he was bullied by black women. So I was trying to find out when was he bullied, when he was in high school or when he was in college, because we really need to understand. And then he was told that he is confused, that the parents, mix. And say, sincerely speaking, I don't know how to say this. I feel that is not truth, right? Then, with everything surrounding that, this was the thing they said, you are apologizing to people that you hurt their feelings, and then you are telling them that you did that, right? Because, or that happened because you were not protected by black women, because you were bullied. I don't know, but sincerely speaking, some people really do need to heal from whatever that happened to them in high school. And if you need a therapy, go and see a therapy. And also, black women, I am telling us this time around that I do not hope that anybody will come out and defend you anytime, because some people are not protectors. Let's get into this video.
Quick PSA, quick acknowledgement. So there's been a couple clips going around from when we did a session on the Flagrant podcast while we were on our US tour. Racist joke.
Yeah.
And we were laughing at it. That obviously there's just literally no excuse. It is our duty to protect you guys.
Facts.
And it is definitely not cool to be in that situation. And again, not be the ones to stand up and kick the cameras down. And we fucked it on that occasion.
We did.
It's not going to happen again. And it's about being human. It's about realizing that you don't know what you're prepared for. You don't know how to prepare for something
you don't know
that you
about.
don't know what's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Yeah.
And once it's happened one time, you're like, fuck, all right. And we're sorry.
We definitely do apologize.
For one, when you're part of a community, you don't realize that you can hurt your own community.
Especially
when you're not, when unintentionally.
Unintentionally, for real.
And also on top of that, it was so crazy that the narrative that's been spun about how we feel about our community, the irony of the fact that whilst the whole reason we're in that country was to just show how much we love our community and show how much we love our supporters and how much time we spent at the shows and just getting to know people and just understanding our community better and just making friends and making bonds and showing love, and they're showing love. And this whole 6-week trip was just about showing how much we love our community and how much our community show out for us. And then to have that exact same trip be the reason that we're having to have this conversation now. But at the end of the day, mistakes make you a better person.
Mistakes do make you a better person.
You're not born a perfect person, and we don't want you guys to think that we were sat in that room rating what's going on.
We do this for you guys,
you guys are all we have, man.
You guys are literally all we have. You guys have taken us to this level, and we don't want to let you guys down going forward and anymore. So,
a few jokes made that were incredibly inappropriate. One specifically pertaining to black women.
Yep.
And in the clip, Andrew was making a joke.
Honestly, y'all could have kept that shit. We all knew they was gonna apologize, and if I had not seen other clips of their behavior or behavior that would lean anti-black women prior to the apology, I might have been like, oh, I think they mean it. But no, I saw a video of James talking about he had issues with black women because black women used to bully him. This stereotype or this idea or this thing that men say that don't like black women now in their big, very, very, very much fucking big age. And they be like, oh, I don't date black women because when I was younger, Black women used to pick on me. You went to an all-black school. You went to an all-black school. Who was going to pick on you? Like Umar said, if the black girls called you ugly, do you think the white girls were gonna say you were handsome? Baby, if you was ugly, you was ugly. You glowed up and you held on to that resentment or whatever the fuck it is, or whatever the fuck y'all be telling yourselves to make y'all feel better about the disdain y'all have for fucking black women. Like, y'all, when y'all started this podcast, y'all did not anticipate that the people who were going to gravitate towards y'all and make y'all as popular as y'all are were going to be black women. Y'all did not think that that was going to be the case. And I saw so many people in my comments like, how did y'all not know? How did y'all not know? How did y'all not know? Because I actually fully watched an entire podcast. I just enjoy my little clips and and going by my day. But y'all won't get another motherfucking key out of me. And also, I would think before y'all go on other people's podcasts, there is some research that is done. And Andrew Slutz has been racist, sexist, ableist. This has reinvigorated my hate for that bitch. And it caused me to go down a rabbit hole and just see all the nasty things he said, how rude he has been to his guests. And I'm just like, I don't have to do a deep dive on random podcasters, right? Because I'm not going to sit on their fucking couch. But maybe you should. And while I won't be participating anymore, for the future, maybe do a little bit of research.
And when I was in school, there was a group of black girls in my year that would bully me religiously. It didn't fucking bother me because they were hideous anyway. I used to gun them hideous. So in fact, on a daily, it would be like, they used to call me half-breed. They would say my dad is a sellout. They would say like, obviously like being mixed race, they'll say you're mixed up, you're confused. What the fuck, man? Begging, trying to be black when you're not. All sorts from black girls. All sorts. And obviously I had to chuck it back. Yeah. So I apologize to anyone if I offended you, like peripherally, when I was gunning for these man, but I had to chuck it back because obviously, it was peak. Sam, why your dad's a sellout, innit? I only like white girls. That's mad. That's crazy. Like, where is this coming from? Where's this coming from, yeah? Where is this coming from? Where's this hatred in you? Why? That's funny. But I'm taking it back to the... And when I was in school...
So like I said in my other video, based on his past, I don't think he came into this thinking that black women were going to end up being his main supporters. So, yeah.
So James and Fuhad, I don't know how to say their names, I'm not gonna lie to you. But I don't think I'll be hearing too much about them or needing to say their names much after this. They have since released an apology, and I wanted to hurry up and make this video before people go on their they took accountability tour, because really they didn't. They basically said, I watched a good amount of it, and they basically said like, oh, you always say you're gonna be, stand up in that moment, but when you're in the moment, it's like fight or flight kicks in. So you agree, you a punk ass bitch. You're a punk. You're a punk. And then also, so I've revealed two things about the situation and why I don't really think the apology matters or is an acceptable apology. In a lot of instances, I do think that is valid. Like, maybe in the moment you're like, damn, I don't really know what to say back to this. And I feel like I'm not in the, like, power, like, I'm not in this position to be the one to say, like, all right, you doing too much? I do think generally that is valid. I'm going to tell you why I don't think that applies here, regardless of the fact that that's what they're saying. Because you knew that it happened before the episode came out. And I'm sure, because it sounds like, Or it was implied that there were other parts that they were saying, like, next question, like, we're not going to answer that, et cetera, et cetera. So you knew after you wrapped up on set and you got back on your plane and you flew across the pond, you knew that there were at least some moments that made you uncomfortable in that interview, or that you did not want to participate in for whatever reason. And for whatever reason, you chose to participate in that one, even though you're saying there were other moments where you told him to go to the next question. Why did you not do it that time? Now you're scared. But also, again, you knew that this happened before the episode came out. You're not apologizing because that's how you felt in the moment. If that was the case, you would have done so on your first episode that you filmed post filming that episode. I don't keep up with them, like I said, so I don't know when this tour wrapped up. Let's say they filmed it yesterday. Bitch, I don't care if they had to put up a video at midnight. They should have taken accountability for things you do does not mean you wait until people are reacting. Because then you're not apologizing for your actions. You're apologizing for causing a reaction. When in reality, you could have made a video saying, hey, we are going to be on an episode of Andrew Schultz's podcast, and there are some moments that we're not proud of. We're not going to ask them to not put it out, but before you listen, just know that we're ashamed of our actions. That would have been the moment you take accountability. Not after the facts, bitch. That's not how that works. Because you're only apologizing because it's not looking good, boo. You're seeing your subscribers drop. You're seeing your podcast views go down. That's why you're apologizing. If you were sorry, you would have done it beforehand. But the other thing that I'm taking issue with is that y'all didn't even, really look him up before you agreed. Do y'all have an agent? Or, they didn't Google? Because this is not the first time Andrew Schultz has said something like this. If you Google Andrew Schultz racist, I'm sure you'll get a lot of things. And there have been other Black comedians and podcasters who have spoken up about disliking him because he's racist. So I'm not really sure how you would have ended up in the situation if you weren't comfortable with being around racist white people. And what white people will listen to y'all? Who is white that's paying? Why would you eat, so again, like I said, you're misunderstanding why you're popular here. And had you actually looked at them analytics, because they will, I know everybody's not a content creator, every single platform, when you look up at your analytics, will tell you how they break down by race. There is no reason for you to be on Andrew Schultz's podcast unless you're trying to market yourself to white people, which is why you shut the fuck up when that white man was making a racist joke. So yeah, this is what you deserve. I hope the shits and gigs was worth it.
The only thing I'm going to say on the James and Fuhad situation, because I've seen a lot of takes, everything has really been said, is it is time to start holding Black people accountable for what they allow white people to say in their presence and how they allow white people to feel comfortable, especially racist white people. Racist white people have a fan base that is going to ride with them until the wheels fall off, right? If you know that your fan base is predominantly Black and predominantly Black women, and you allow a white racist man to sit there and dog them out, you got to be held accountable. That's really all that it is. I personally don't even want to hear no apology. I don't even want to hear no whatever. Because, when you look at that clip, it's not like they were, nervous laughing, right? It's not like, oh, this person kind of has power in the industry. Ha, ha, ha. I don't know. I'm kind of whatever. Even that wouldn't be acceptable. But it's that would be a reason. They were full belly laughing. They thought what he said was the funniest shit in the world. I hate that they have to be the example. But it's time to start holding Black people accountable for what the fuck they allow white people to get away with. That's the only reason they feel comfortable to do it in the first place.
Oh, whilst I'm here, let me talk about James and Fuhad. You guys have really disgraced us all. The fact that you went on a platform with a white man, let him make fun of Black women, and you sat there and you were shining your teeth, laughing, shining your teeth like you just got veneers, is insane to me. I find it hard to believe that if this happened in the UK, that an English person would have said that you would have reacted the exact same way. Do you think because you're in America, it's a different set of rules? Or the fact that Andrew guy even felt as if he was comfortable enough to say that in front of them is crazy enough to me. Even if you were like, oh, yeah, I get you're joking, but shut it out. This is not funny. Making fun of Black women or they're not the butt of the joke is not it. You guys couldn't do that. I've never seen this happen where another group of people will sit there and allow another person from a different race to talk bad about their woman. I've never seen that before. But every single time it will be Black men. Yo.
So James and Fuhad have issued an apology, which
cool. The apology itself did sound genuine, but honestly, I can't take it seriously at all until I understand the intentions behind actually going on that Flagrant 2 podcast. That's what I don't understand. Like I've said this before, if you've ever seen anything that Andrew Schultz has ever done, this is his whole thing. This is his shtick. He wants to offend people. He wants to get you to slip up. He wants to get you to admit something. And he does it for other races, not just black women, but black women are his target. He targets black women a lot. So I'm trying to understand, like, James and Fuhad, have you never listened to anything that he's ever done? Were you guys not aware of the podcast that you were going on to? And I find that hard to believe, because I would think that if you're making a name for yourself, you're doing the due diligence to make sure that you're going on platforms that are going to kind of match with your brand. So that podcast in itself, them even going on Flagrant, I don't know, that's the part for me, like, it seems like there was intention there, and until I kind of understand that, I don't know.
We just wanted to address something that's happening at the minute. This past weekend, there's been a couple of clips going around from when we did a session on the Flagrant podcast while we were on our US tour. And
if you haven't seen that full apology video yet, they just posted it. I don't follow those guys. I only know them from TikTok. I'm not a fan of theirs. I've never watched their podcast, never listened to it, anything. So I only know them from what I see on TikTok. If you haven't been keeping up, the controversy started when they went on the Flagrant podcast with Andrew Schultz. Andrew Schultz is known to be racist. He's known to be anti-black. He's had Dave Portnoy on there, who is like the world's biggest racist next to Elon Musk. And so I feel like if you did any research whatsoever on that man's podcast, you should be aware of what you're walking into when you get on that show. Their apology to me seems super whack. They're basically like, we were scared. We didn't know what to expect. It took us by surprise. This guy was offensive. He said a lot of offensive things and we didn't know what to do. So that only reinforces what I truly believe about men, and I need women to listen up closely. Men would rather be popular than powerful. They would rather be popular than powerful. In that situation, they completely gave away their power. In order to get along with the host and to get along with the other guys on the show, and in order to be popular. And those kind of men are the kind of men that you're out dating, that are in the dating pool, and you need to be aware of this. And honestly, you need to avoid them. Now, there are women who do not mind dating weak men. There are women who are just pick-me's and they can't even tell the difference between a weak man or a powerful man. But at the end of the day, men would rather be popular than powerful. And if you're looking for a powerful man, I feel like situations like these and this type of behavior is exactly what you need to avoid. Any man, I don't care what race you are, any man who thinks it's funny to punch down on women is weak. Any man. And comedians do this. Comedians are known for punching down. Obviously, that's part of their comedy. That's part of their routines. We've seen this with Chris Rock. We've seen this with other people, but you've never seen it with a man with any kind of power. You've never seen The Rock do this. You've never seen you've never seen Barack Obama do it. You've never heard this type of language come from any man that has any type of power. You only see it coming from weaklings. So I just want women to take this as a PSA. There are many learning lessons that you can take away from this experience. But one, neither one of these guys are good looking enough to me for me to be interested in anything they have to say. Two, I just don't feel like black men in general understand the power that they hold and the power that they have, much less know how to use it. And three, again, I believe that there are too many men who would rather be popular than powerful. And if you come across those men, you should avoid them like the plague. Men would rather be popular than powerful.
This reminds me of a class that I took in college that was all males enrolled, subscribed, matriculated, however you want to say, into this particular class. And there were some disparaging comments, some problematic comments made about women and menstrual cycles and PMSing. And I think it was like, I don't know, history, religion class, I don't know. And there were just so many just disgusting comments made about women. And the joke just kept on going on and on. And a lot of guys in the classroom laughed at these jokes, egged on the jokes, continued to think that it was funny. And the ones who felt uncomfortable just looked uncomfortable, but stayed quiet. And it was so bad that even the professor was laughing at the jokes, awkwardly, but laughing at the jokes. Which is to say, and so unclear in these particular situations to decipher whether the person agrees or they just feel so awkward and they don't want to say anything. And you just never know in these situations where people stand. But I was livid and I went off. And I said, like, this is disgusting. This is sexist, and I will not stand for this. This is so basic. The jokes to me weren't even funny. They were just very stereotypical and very cheap, low-hanging fruit jokes that one would make about women and periods and PMS and so forth. And I just couldn't stand it. It was disgusting to me. And so I decided to speak up and use my voice because I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable in that situation. And I didn't want to hear it anymore. It was trash and I didn't want to hear that in my ear. And so some people, the people who felt uncomfortable, some of the people started speaking up and saying, like, you know, we need a woman in this class. I'm like, we shouldn't need a woman in this class to know what to do and what is right to say and what's wrong to say. That is like, we should be able to control, regulate ourselves and think to ourselves, maybe this is something I keep on my brain, even if it is something that I believe. Like, maybe this is something that I don't share with other people. But instead, you do share with other people and you share it in a classroom and everyone eggs it on and it's just groupthink. And so I do believe that a lot of, and I won't say all, but there are a lot of guys who rather be popular, and not just popular, as she said in this video, but popular with other men. This particular creator made some really good points. I'm not discrediting anything she's saying, I'm saying, but popular among other men. They would rather be popular among other men in the eyes of other men. And when you think about the hierarchical chart of it and the intersectionality of not only these particular creators, these two guys with the podcast, Fuhad and James, or I don't know what their names are. I don't really watch their stuff. But them also being of color, them also being from a different country. And I don't know what their context is, which they exist in. I know that they didn't fall out of a coconut tree, although in that video, they looked like a deer in headlights. They, in particular, being of color, and this plays out a lot of times you see as well, where not only do they want to fit in and be popular, but they want to be popular among a man who is probably the most privileged and the most privileged in the particular situation and the most prized in society. Now, this guy is a jerk. I've seen clips of him on TikTok. I don't think he's funny either. He makes a lot of low-hanging fruit racial jokes. He made this one particular stand-up where he talked about Muslims and lesbians and all these other hateful things that he said. And people in the comments said, oh, comedy is back. And the thing is, it's not even comedy. It's just shock factor, low-hanging fruit, racial, stereotypical things that you can say about minority groups and particularly marginalized groups in this community, in this country. And so he's not even funny. But the thing is that they go on this podcast and it's like, oh, we were scared. Yeah, you were scared of not being perceived as a man, not being perceived as one of the boys, not being perceived as being a part of the crowd, getting that pushback and your masculinity being checked by other men, right? But you were not afraid of the repercussions. You were not afraid of siding with or the dignity of protecting the dignity of a community that you are a part of. Maybe you don't see yourself as a part of, but you are a part of. And the thing is that not only did he disrespect black women, but he also disrespected them as well. Because when you think about it, somebody who likely has these low, misogynoir, hateful, disgusting, stereotypical, very cliche attitude towards black women likely feels the same way about you, even though you're not on the table for the roast and to be feasted. You are still in his mind, inferior to him. And so, as opposed to standing up, not just for Black women, but standing up for yourself, you decided to awkwardly laugh and keep quiet because you want to be a part of the group and be popular. And so that is why people are very disgusted and upset with these podcasters, if you may, because of that. It's about the dignity. It's about the dignity in yourself to say, this is disgusting. I won't stand for this. Because if they do it to them, they will do it to you, and you're not exempt. But whatever. So regardless, people, us as a community, we have to do better in sticking up and standing up against things like that when it comes that way, or at least standing up to walk away. Even if you don't say anything, just sit there and take it. When it's recorded, it's not even live, it's recorded. You can just say, hey, this is not what we're looking for. This is not what we want to get into. And I respectfully bow out. That is what it's about. And that's why a lot of people are disappointed in these podcasts. And that's why a lot of people will not be satiated by this particular apology. It's just not okay. It's not okay. That guy is he's racist, but he's also mediocre. And he has brain cells as small as the jokes that he makes. Okay. As small and as that disgusting mustache that he has over his lip. The lack of lip that he does have, although he's very lippy and mouthy with the disgusting things that he does say. So it gives, how do I say this without being too provocateur? It gives small energy, very small energy, very insecure energy. And that's for all three of these men that are part of it. You all deserve each other. And may you all have the days that you deserve. Justice for Black women. Ew.
James and Fuhad thing is very interesting because it just shows the power of content and the power of, your influence. I'm sure when those boys went on there and while they were on there and these things were being said, they weren't thinking of the impact that it's going to have amongst women. And I don't say that in a negative way. I'm just saying, like, sometimes when you're on these podcasts, you get so comfortable and you don't realize that millions of people are really about to watch this, right? I had to look at this thing from both sides because I can actually understand where the women are coming from, whereby a lot of times when you see Black men on platforms, content platforms, you never see a lot of positive things that are being said about Black women. And it's unfortunate that it's the negative content they push, where I'm sure there's a lot of positive content. In conversations like that now, I know a lot of women are saying that's the opportunity for you to fight back and talk and all. Sometimes as a guy, you start to think of, hey, I see when women talk about men all the time, especially Black women talk about Black men. So I think it's just conversation or jokes. But then, like I said, you don't realize the impact content has. So it's an unfortunate situation, but I feel like it's just one of those ones that.
So this is all I got from this video. And the truth is that I do not feel the apology is sincere. And I am not telling anybody not to accept the apology, right? But you cannot be making apology, right, over what you said and over your reactions on what you did during probably while you guys were recording or during the interaction that happened between you and that man, right? And you are trying to use the fact that he said he was bullied by Black women. See, was it Black women that bullied you? I mean, Black women did not bully you, right? Where did you go to school? I don't know. I think he schooled in probably, I heard it's all Black, whatever, that he went to school in England or wherever. And they were just kids, right? I feel like he made that thing up because I don't know how old he was when that happened. And because there are some words you do not expect kids to make. So I really cannot say when he was at what age, where he was in school and all that he was bullied. Looking at him, does he even look like? I mean, I don't know, but he doesn't look over mixed even, right? His complexion is just there, and the truth is that people like this, from the onset, I feel like he has mother, and from the onset, you know how there's some of them are being programmed not to, like, uh be kind or be nice to people that look like me, or like, or they already told them that these people are not like the very best, or the ones that, like, talk not nicely towards people that look like me. And then the son grows up, he's seen all that, and he picks that up, right? So for me, I feel like he was not bullied. He's just saying this to cover up. Now, let me tell you something. When I was growing up, I was really big. I am telling you the truth. I wasn't like fat, right? But I was bigger than my age. My dad is on a big side and at the same time very tall and huge. So there is a name they called me while I was in school. And thank God, I mean, thank goodness that I met the set of people that I met then. And I did not see it like I was being bullied. I saw it like they were being truthful to me because I wasn't kind of big, right? And they saw better that I needed to shed weight. And they just kept calling me the name, right? I didn't like the name. And I was determined to lose weight. That is another one. Guess what happened? I lost weight. And I did not see it like I was, but I just felt like, oh my God, why would they have to come back? Then I got used to the name, and then I was like, okay, maybe I have to slim down so I can look better. I was young. I really don't know a lot, right? But I felt like what they were saying is true, right? That there is need for me to probably change diet or do better for myself. I did better for myself, and I am not trying to uh, fat shame anybody or something, but I am just telling you my own experience being a child growing up. I was in high school, so you understand I was not in like college or something. It was in high school that this happened, and I slimmed down. I was happy, and life goes on. And if I even see them, I can't even remember the people that told me you were big and all that, but even if I see them, I definitely would give them their flower for telling me that I was looking big or something, because whatever they told me helped me to, like, shaping my diet and look better. That's all for whatever that happened to me. So I feel that these guys were just using that they were like bullied. At what age were you bullied? I think if you were bullied or something, I think these are the things that I am not say bullying is something nobody should ever do. Nothing people should ever do. And some people are things that were said out of love that we misunderstood. Like everybody wants to use that word, bully. But I am going to tell you that bullying people is not okay. Do not bully people. But I feel like they are lying, because this is the easiest way for them to run away from what they said about Black women, right? Now, from these things that I learned that they have said even more about Black women. Why? Because they went out to delete about 100 videos from their podcasts, the ones they made when they started. That is to tell you the level of, like, how some people could go to, like, be really very disrespectful. And from from their reactions and how they speak, you can also understand that these people are not into even Black women. I am sorry to say that, but while we are talking, we can always talk. They are not into Black women. So it's people that love Black women that can defend Black women. And also, I feel like it's people that love, because if you do not love what is going on in your family, your siblings and all that, your mother, maybe you will not be able to, like, you cannot give out what you do not have, but you give out what you have. So he doesn't have that to give out. And now, I am going to say this. Black women, I understand that Black women are the most bull and lead, like they bully them every minute people get. I mean, people, we have to tell a black woman what to do, what not to do, how to react, how to feel, how to act every time, like in any time they get it. That is one thing they know. I want black women to not even bother about all these people because you are more than enough. If the people that are, they want to be protectors, like these are the protectors that cannot even protect people with their own word of mouth, how do you want them to be rulers and all that? How do you want them to rule? How do you want them to manage? How do you want them to lead? They cannot lead, they cannot protect, right? So let me tell us this. It is not everybody that can protect. It is not every man that can rule. It is not everybody that can. No. So if we are sometimes looking, I understand we all need to be, but man, from the things I see these days, just women focusing on themselves. The ones that offer to protect, that is fine. But it is very appalling that people are going to sit out and watch people use denigrating words on black women and then not speak on it or not make corrections. Now, let me tell us something. Everything is not fighting. There is how you act. They know this kind of joke is a no-no. And they will never, ever play that kind of joke with you. I mean, maturity is not all about screaming, shouting, and raising voices. Your attitude, your eyes, the eyes you roll during a conversation, your gestures, your movements, while the discussion is going on, we tell people whether to continue or not to continue. We can do better as humans because each time I'm saying something, I talk about it as humans. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.